getting back at it again. It's early in the morning and I'm just posting this because I'm being convicted because he keeps telling me to post, and I'm like, yeah, time is not permitting that, but I'm going to post nonetheless. So really quickly, you said open your mouth and I'll fill it, so you better fill it, God. Sometimes you are following a ministry or friends with a person or in a relationship that you should not be in, and when you end that or you leave it, when you move forward in the friendship and the relationship, a lot of times you think to yourself, oh well, like you beat yourself up, right? And you don't think to yourself that sometimes, just sometimes, God allowed you to go down that path, go in that direction, be in that ministry, be with that person. He allowed it because that was the catapult to get you closer to him. And so the things that you learn in that season are all lessons and all things that you can use in your relationship, in your walk. And it's also a lesson so that you know where to go, how to go, and what not to do. Don't always look at something that has happened to you as negative, because you should be grateful, because sometimes it's really positive. And maybe that relationship that you were in that relationship so that you can learn what a godly relationship is, a relationship that God has for you. Maybe he allowed you to be with that man or that woman that wasn't for you so that you could see what it looks like not to be with him, or what it looks like to have a counterfeit, so that when God shows you the love and brings you that person that he has for you, you can understand, or you can see the difference in godly love. And it could be even in a friendship. Maybe that friendship went sour and God allowed you to be in that friendship so that you could see your purpose. Maybe in the next season, when you are dealing with someone or seeing people act in a certain manner, you now have awareness of it and you know how to deal with it because you dealt with it in that relationship. Or he's preparing you for your purpose, where you're going to have to continuously deal with people in that manner. It could also be a situation where you were in a ministry that you shouldn't have been, but God let you be in that ministry so that you could learn the precepts of his word, the precepts of spiritual warfare, the precepts of spirituality in him, right? Because the Bible says in 1 Corinthians, I think it's 2:7, God uses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and he uses the weak things of the world to confound the mighty, right? So God is using these things to grow you up in him. He's using these things to build you up. He's growing these things to build your faith. So don't take it lightly. Take it as he works together everything he does for good, right? Whatever the case may be, the point here is don't hold on to the shame or the I didn't have discernment, or beating yourself up over falling in love with someone you shouldn't have fell in love with because you didn't ask God about her or him, or being friends with people, because you shouldn't be friends with everybody. We're not called to be friends with everybody, especially people who are not of God and who don't necessarily wish the best of us for us, right? But sometimes God uses these things to build our relationship with him. He uses these things to make us closer to him. And I say that to say because I've had experience that, like, I was in relationships I should not have been in, and I said that prayer, like, God, if it ain't for me, break it up. And he would break it up, and then I'd be all sad and whatever, but it wasn't of him. Or friendships where people were really not your friends and they were wishing you bad and doing crazy stuff to you or whatever. And even in ministries where you worked hard, you gave of yourself, and you were not appreciated, even though God saw it, but the people were not of him. But you learned in that time. You learned that you grew closer to him. So I said it to say, like, just don't be so hard on yourself. God is using everything to work together for his good. And even in you, and look at where you came from and all the things that you learned, even in that situation. It's good.